Krobea, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, my brother.
Your former colleagues, I don't know if you are still, but then your former colleagues have said that government should, as a matter of urgency, implement this agreement that was reached in May 2024. And if that is not done, they are not going to, go back to work. As a former president, you've had these conversations regarding your former colleagues or colleagues and government in dealing with this matter. You think they should still be on strike whilst government finds ways of implementing this collective agreement?
Well, I think so, my brother, because it does not even appear the government has solution to the problem as of now. And the better the minister rethinks the decision of solving the problem by bringing retired nurses and midwives to the facilities, it's laughable. But so he should rethink the decision, come up with a pragmatic solution to the problem, and then the nurses will return to their posts.
Government has said that if they go ahead and implement this particular agreement, which is close to 2 billion cedis, it will throw the whole budget, out of gear.
Because of the complicity of the Minister of Health, the Minister of Finance, the interest of the nurses and midwives was not taken care of, because there had been an earlier negotiation where the nurses picked up a promise from the minister that they were going to put the cost of their demands into the budget. So I wonder why they didn't do it. But if they did it, why are they making this complaint? In any case, if it is going to throw whatever they think is due the nurses, if they honor the nurses, the promise to give the nurses what they want, is going to throw the budget, whatever however they describe it. So what? Because we have a crisis on hand. The crisis that we have on hand, I always say that, and I've always been saying, the solution to this crisis is in the hands of the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Health. And so they should they should put that out, and for the solution, the crisis solution, to be solved. I mean, the nurses are ready to come to work once the minister promises and delivers his part of the agreement by honoring his promise to them. That's the bottom line.
They have the solution. That's why they said that wait till next year for us to implement this collective agreement. Yet your members or your former colleagues are saying no, they want it done immediately.
We are talking about crisis, and he says you should deal with the crisis in a year's time. That's interesting. So I think the minister is not taking the issue serious, because if he's actually committed to his promise of dealing with this matter, the action must be now. Because as far as the nurses are concerned, and I'm also concerned, their interest, the quantum of money that they will require to deal with this matter is already in the budget, because that is what the minister promised. So you still have to throw that into the eyes of people by saying that that amount of money they will have to go out to pay the nurses will throw the budget out of gear. I don't believe it.
You think government is not handling this crisis, as you put it, well enough?
No, it's not handling the crisis with the urgency that it is required. Because if we are already, all of us are agreeing that it's a crisis, imagine wait. Imagine say that you will deal with the crisis in a year's time or in 6 months' time. So that is my take on the matter.
But Mr. Asante, we've seen the steps government is taking, inviting all stakeholders to the table. So at least let's dialogue. Let's see how we can meet each other halfway in resolving this matter. At least government has been proactive.
We are past that stage. This is not the time we have to go back to the table and do negotiations on what has already been discussed and put into a collective agreement. I'm sure you know what goes into negotiations when collective agreement is being designed, and it is when the employee says, "I want this," the employer says, "I'll give you this," and in the final analysis, we are heads come together and we agree on something. We put it on paper, and they are signed. Signatures are appended to the document. Now, on that document, you have the signature of the representative of the Fair of Government, which is the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. You have the signature of the Minister of Health, the signature of the President of the Association. And so, it is not, that document is nothing but a legal document. And the negotiations they are talking about now, the discussions they are talking about now, have already taken place over a year. And that is why you see the collective agreement itself is 1 year old, let me put it that way. And in a year's time, it is going to expire. So why the minister say we have to, at the time that we will see the expiration of the tenets of the agreement? Is that what the minister is saying? Does he think that the nurses don't think? Does he think that the nurses will have to be taken for granted? Does he think that the nurses don't deserve any respect in this country for what they are doing for Mother Ghana? Come on, the minister must be serious. Come to think of it, that it's even bringing the retired nurses and midwives and the retired nurses and midwives to fill the gap. Can that gap be filled by them? Can they soak the pressure that is have been generated? The retired nurses and midwives themselves are more sick than the patients that the minister says he is bringing out for them to come and take care of. Does he know them? Does he know where they live? Does he know what they even want? Which money is he going to find money to pay the retired nurses and midwives, and where is that money going to come from? That doesn't want to care about the situation. But I will insist that the solution is in the hands of the ministers, the two ministers of health and of finance. And so they must come up with something that will appeal to the nurses. Well, so suggestions have been offered. I mean, that you could even meet the nurses halfway or 3/4 of the way and say that in a few months' time, we will deal with the matter and take up the rest of the issue. But the minister is not prepared to think along these lines. All he thinks is that come for renegotiation of the collective agreement. In a year's time that you will pay you nurses and midwives, retired nurses and midwives will have to come and fill the gap that has been left. This is the solution the minister thinks will deal with the matter. And I'm saying that he's not serious.
Mr. Finally, before I let you go, there are many of us who accuse your colleagues or former colleagues of just being inhumane. People are in the hospital sick. We are told that a number of people are also dying. Just go back to work while you still, engage government in resolving this matter. How do you have people who say that your members are just being inhumane?
My brother, it is not true that people are dying in their numbers. It is not true. I mean, Ghanaians are reasonable. They know that the...
But Mr. Krobea, yesterday, the Mortuary Association of Ghana, made us understand that quite a number of people are being brought to the morgue because of this strike by the nurses and the midwives. So I'm basing my question based on what the Mortuary Association is saying.
Well, if that is true, it is unfortunate, and we all have, fellow feeling for or the development. But let me say that it is not the case that the nurses and midwives are being inhumane. If people are dying, it's unfortunate, but it is the Minister of Health who is responsible for the death of these people, because he has seen it. He has to stop it by meeting the needs of the nurses and midwives, period. And so don't think that people are dying, which I'm saying is very unfortunate, and that it is the nurses who are to blame. Maybe partly, but the Minister of Health is responsible for the deaths that are occurring, the deaths that we are recording. And so he must deal with the matter, he must face it headlong, and if he believes that it is crisis on our hands, this is not the way to solve problems that we describe as crisis. Not at all.
Okay, Mr. Krobea, thank you. Thank you very much. Kweku Asante Krobea is a former president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association.